Tyrese Haliburton just became the third player in NBA history with 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists in a playoff game. He also didn't turn the ball over a single time, and it was this uber efficient offense that led the way not only to this win, but to them going up 3-1 in the series, as the Knicks haven't had a clue on how to guard him or the Pacers as a whole. It's no secret that Indiana's looking to play as fast as they possibly can. Turning the ball over against them is a death sentence, as they're getting a bucket pretty much every single time. In this series, Haliburton's played a big role in creating those turnovers, as he's had 7 steals in the last 2 games and is averaging 2.5 per game through all 4. It isn't just turnovers. Anytime there's a missed shot, wings are looking to streak out ahead of the play, where Haliburton's gonna instantly find them with pinpoint outlet passes. But if he gets the ball in the backcourt and there isn't an immediate outlet, that's when he's gonna grab and go himself. He'll apply downhill pressure, then find the open man for a high quality shot. And if he gets the ball in the backcourt, there isn't an outlet, then he pushes down court and there's no available pass, that's when he'll call his own number as a scorer. All of this is possible because he's got the best anticipation in the NBA. He's always a step ahead of the defense, knowing exactly when and where openings are going to be. That really stands out when he's in more of a connective role. Every single decision he makes off the catch is instant, and that leads to beautiful plays like this where the Pacers get the ball from one end of the court to the other without a single dribble. Just because his decisions are instant though, doesn't mean they're rushed. He can be patient when needed, even with a big numbers advantage as he waits for the right read. All that's to say, if he gets a defensive rebound, the Pacers are gonna get a good shot. And that's exactly what we saw in Game 4, as he grabbed 12 defensive rebounds, then turned those opportunities into transition offense time and time again. So, like I said, it isn't just turnovers. Well, it also isn't just missed shots. Even after a made shot, they're looking to run, and this makes it pretty much impossible for the defense to get set. Even on a complete dead ball like this, as soon as Haliburton touches the ball, he's kicking it ahead to Nesmith, who's left with room to catch and shoot. Against an unset defense, there's a ton of subtle advantages. A common one is a cross match, like Brunson on Toppin, and the Pacers are going to exploit that every time down. This time Brunson actually finds himself on Haliburton, so they immediately clear out to put him in high ball screen action, where he not only lacks the navigation to stay attached, he lacks the agility to keep him from getting downhill. Speaking of which, early screening action is a staple of this offense. They'll often get into their primary action not even 5 seconds into the clock, and that causes a ton of confusion, leading to open shots. These high ball screens are also where they create most of their offense in the half court. With Cat at the 5, they've made a deliberate effort to put him in every action. He opened the series in drop coverage, to which the Pacers absolutely torched him. Haliburton does a great job of making bigs pick their poison. If they play the ball, he's looking for Turner, and if they don't, he's a very efficient scorer. It's his in-between scoring that's especially stood out to me in this series. When Cat drops back, he snakes the screen to hunt for open space near the right elbow, where he gets to a jumper, and utilizing the mid-range opens up more passing reads. They know he's looking for that shot, so he sells out by leaving his feet before dropping it off to Turner for a layup. Like I said, the drop got torched, so throughout the series they started switching a lot more. But now the advantage is Cat on an island trying to defend one-on-one. Cat's been a pretty decent switch defender throughout these playoffs. Haliburton's been an incredible isolation creator though, and his change of pace is simply too quick for most bigs. That's also part of what makes him so good at manipulating screens. Point of attack defenders pretty much have to force him into Cat, or he's rejecting it for a drive in the opposite direction and creating downhill pressure. As a result, he's found himself isolated against Cat quite a bit, and if Cat tries to protect his lack of speed by playing the drive, that's when Haliburton's hunting for his step back 3. If for any reason the Pacers aren't looking for Cat, you can bet they're looking for Brunson. They've also made a deliberate effort to force him into as much action as possible, and in these spots, the Knicks have been completely helpless. These plays cause the exact same issues. If you don't want to give up the switch, you can't deny the screen or he's rejecting it on a drive, then making all of the right plays. So much like Cat, he's been switched onto the ball quite a bit, and that's when Haliburton's back to creating advantages in isolation like he's done all playoffs long. I already talked about the balance between the driving and the outside shooting, which he's gotten pretty close to mastering, and I also mentioned earlier that he's been looking for the mid-range a bit more than usual in this series, which is another tool he can go to as a one-on-one scorer. Then if the Knicks try to keep Brunson out of the action by pre-switching, the Pacers are just going to find ways to force him onto Haliburton anyways, and now they're in a position to attack both Brunson and Cat at the same time, which results in a high-quality 3. Indiana's offense is way too layered to hide any defender. It looks like Nesmith's going to be the one setting a ball screen, but he's just a decoy to get Hart away from the play so that they can't pre-switch. Now Nembhard goes to set a screen, Brunson jumps out in a hedge, and Haliburton hits the short roll, which then collapses the defense and leads to a corner 3 for Siakam. Primarily though, the way they've pulled Brunson into the action is with 3-man sets. Here's one where his man sets a cross screen for Siakam to go set a ball screen for Haliburton, and because Brunson doesn't want to switch, there's nobody in position to step up on a 3. Here they go to a similar action, except now Brunson's man is going to set a ball screen, which gets him jumping out in a hedge. Only now Nesmith's going to immediately run off a flare screen where there's once again nobody to step up. Their go-to action for involving Brunson has been double drag, and when Cat's at the 5, this allows them to attack both at the same time, which again has left the Knicks completely helpless. Just this simple action creates so many problems. Brunson doesn't want to switch, and if Cat's dropping, Haliburton's able to turn the corner with a world of space to attack. And that's if he decides to use both screens. Of course, he can also use one to get a quick advantage, then reject the second as he flies down the middle of the lane, or he can reject the action altogether, forcing Brunson to help, and leaving Nesmith all alone at the top of the key for 3. Basically, they've again made it so Brunson almost has to switch. From there, they'll just go to a 1-5 pick and roll, and between the lack of point of attack resistance and drop coverage, that's easy offense. In addition to double drag, another go-to for the Pacers has been to set up in horns with a ball screen on either side. And again, that forces Brunson to switch, and Haliburton's left with space to do his thing as an isolationist. Let's look at an example where that action didn't create an advantage. Brunson hedges, Bridges recovers, and not even a second later, they're setting up an empty corner pick and roll. Robinson switches onto Haliburton, then falls victim to that long-range shooting. New York's defense hasn't only been a Brunson or a Cat problem. Mitchell Robinson's had a really good series, but even he's run into similar issues. If he drops against the ball screen, Turner's either popping into open space for a jumper, or they're back to creating downhill pressure. Like here they go to that double drag, and because Brunson isn't switching, Robinson has to step up to the ball in a high drop while Hart tags from the weak side, which Haliburton counters with a skip pass to Nembhard for a 3. So Robinson has also ended up switching a ton, and between the 3-point shot, the driving, and the mid-range game, Haliburton continues to get his game off. After all, that was the switch that led to the most iconic moment of the series, and maybe these playoffs, which is really emblematic of the series he and the Pacers have had. After 4 games of this series, Haliburton is averaging 24 points, 11 assists, and just 1.5 turnovers. Yet, you could still argue that the box score doesn't do him justice. All of the times he pushes pace and creates an advantage, all of the times he puts the defense in rotation, triggering ball movement for his teammates to take advantage of, there are so many little things he does on every possession, and when the supporting cast capitalizes like they have in this series, you end up with historically efficient team offense. In this series, the Pacers are scoring 123 points every 100 possessions. Let's compare that to New York's first 2 opponents. The Pistons put up about 111, the Celtics put up a little under 113, and like I said, the Pacers 123. Then if we only look at the minutes they've played with Haliburton, over 125. He just played a perfect game. He's played a near-perfect series, and as a result, the Knicks are completely out of answers as Indiana's 1 game away from their first NBA Finals appearance in 25 years. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out the Hoop Venue podcast and my social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you think of Haliburton. As always, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.